My daughter said, "You're no longer welcome," after her $33 million inheritance, but she ignored conditions. I still remember the sound of the door slamming. It wasn't just wood hitting wood, it was the sound of my heart breaking in half. My daughter, the little girl I once held in my arms and promised I'd protect forever, had looked me in the eyes and said the words I never thought I'd hear. "You're no longer welcome here, Mom." And just like that, I was no longer a part of her world. But life has a strange way of revealing truth. She thought her $33 million inheritance had given her freedom, power, and a chance to erase the sacrifices I made. What she didn't realize was that the money came with conditions she ignored. And in ignoring them, she risked losing everything. My daughter, Claire, grew up with less than most of her friends. I worked double shifts as a nurse after her father passed away when she was only 6. We lived in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment, our furniture secondhand, our fridge often close to empty. But no matter how hard things got, I promised Claire one thing: she would never feel unloved. I attended every school play, even if I came straight from a 12-hour night shift in scrubs. I made costumes out of old curtains, packed lunches with handwritten notes, and told her bedtime stories when my eyes could barely stay open. I wanted her to know that while we didn't have much, we had each other. But Claire always wanted more. She looked at her classmates with designer bags, new cars at 16, parents who vacationed abroad. She once asked me, "Why can't we be rich like them?" I swallowed the lump in my throat and told her, "Because life gave us a different path." But money doesn't measure love, Claire. One day, you'll see that. She didn't believe me then. Fast forward 20 years. Claire was 28 when her estranged grandfather, my late husband's father, passed away. He had cut us off decades earlier, angry at my husband for marrying me against his wishes. He was a proud, cold man who valued wealth above all else. I was shocked when the lawyer called. "Your daughter has been named sole heir," he said. "The estate is worth approximately $33 million. Claire's eyes lit up like never before. In that moment, I saw the girl who had once envied her classmates. Only now, she had everything she'd ever dreamed of. At the will reading, the lawyer explained the conditions. 1. Claire must keep close ties with her only living parent, me. 2. She must donate 10% of her inheritance to charity every year. 3. She must not let greed sever her family bond, or else the inheritance would be revoked. I remember holding my breath. Her grandfather, for all his flaws, must have known money could poison a soul if not handled with care. But Claire wasn't listening to the conditions. She was too busy staring at the numbers. At first, she was generous. She bought me a new car, moved us both into a sprawling mansion, and even cried in my arms saying, "Mom, we made it." But slowly, things changed. She surrounded herself with people who only cared about her wealth. Parties every night, designer clothes, trips to Monaco, yachts, and private jets. I began to notice she never mentioned the charity donations again. When I reminded her, she brushed me off. "Mom, stop nagging. It's my money. I'll do what I want." And then the distance began. The warm daughter who once held my hand during thunderstorms now acted embarrassed of me. At her parties, I was the old-fashioned one. Her friends laughed when I wore the same dress twice. I overheard Claire once whisper to someone, "She's just not like us." The knife cut deeper with each passing day. The breaking point came one evening. I found her drunk in the living room, with her new friends, mocking the charity idea from her grandfather's will. I tried to remind her again, gently. "Claire, if you ignore his conditions, you'll lose everything." She turned on me, her face flushed with anger. "You know what, Mom? Maybe I want to lose you. You're always hovering, always reminding me of rules and sacrifices. This is my life now. You're no longer welcome here." And then, the slam. The door. The echo that still haunts me. For months, I lived in a small rented apartment again, surviving on my nurse's pension. I cried every night, not for the money, but for my daughter, the daughter I had lost to greed. But fate is patient. One morning, I got a call from the lawyer. His tone was firm. "Mrs. Donovan, your daughter has violated every single condition of her inheritance. The charity contributions were never made. And as for family ties," he sighed, "she hasn't just ignored them. She severed them. The $33 million was gone. Revoked." When Claire found out, she came storming to my apartment. Her makeup was smeared, her clothes wrinkled. For the first time in years, she didn't look glamorous, she looked like my little girl again, broken and lost. "Mom, I messed up. They took it all. I don't even have a house anymore. My so-called friends disappeared overnight. I'm sorry. I wanted to scream. I wanted to say, I told you so. But when I looked into her tearful eyes, I didn't see greed. I saw fear, regret, and most of all, I saw the daughter I had raised, the one who just wanted to be loved. I held her in my arms, just as I had when she was 6. Money comes and goes, Claire. But family, that's something you should never throw away. We can rebuild, not with riches, but with love. And that's worth more than $33 million. The journey back wasn't easy. Claire had to sell off what little remained of her luxury life. She went from yachts to buses, from champagne to instant coffee. But she also learned the value of hard work. She got a job, started volunteering at a charity, finally fulfilling one of her grandfather's conditions, and slowly began to rebuild not her wealth, but her character. And me, I forgave her, because that's what mothers do. Today, Claire doesn't own a mansion. She doesn't fly on private jets. But she has something richer. She has peace. She has humility. And she has me, her mother, standing by her side. The $33 million was never meant to make her rich. It was meant to teach her what really matters. And now, she finally understands. Message for the audience. Money can buy houses, cars, and temporary friends, but it can't buy love, loyalty, or family. Don't let greed blind you to the treasures you already have. Because one day, you might realize the true inheritance isn't wealth at all, it's the people who stand by you when everything else is gone.